Hey guys, for those who don't know me, my name is Rochelle and I am coming to you live from Boerne, Texas. For those of you who don't know where Boerne's at, we are a little town north of San Antonio. It is like 1,000 degrees here today and everything is melting, including myself. So I am excited to be here. I'm excited that the boys aren't here because I've literally tried to go, hey Crystal, I've tried to go live every single evening as like my, part of our 30-day go live challenge. I think I'm on day 8 or 9. And I am not able to get on here until after the boys are all in bed. And by the boys, I mean Silas is about and asleep, and he's woken up like 3 or 4 times. So literally for the last 2 nights, I'm not able to get on until like midnight. And I feel like I know, it's been really late. Sorry, I'm late right now. That's what you mean. Hi, Denise. So I'm excited to be here now. I really feel like the whole point of this is to get on when people are active. So if you get value out of this, feel free to share. If you're watching me live, let me know. If you're watching the replay, let me know that too. I only have about 30 minutes until we have a team Zoom, which I'm really excited for. Oh, good. But before I get into my 18 tips for keto success, I have to vent for a second. So we bought a kitten for the boys for Christmas, and I don't know if you've seen on my Facebook page, my lighting is so weird today. She's a extreme face Persian, so she's super cute. But when we got her, we didn't know until about 6 weeks later that she had ringworm. And I don't know if you know anything about ringworm, but it's like 1,000 times worse than lice because it's super contagious and you can't get it. And it's not an actual worm. It's a fungus, which I don't know which one would be worse. I mean, like, you can kill a worm, but you can't kill a fungus, or it's hard to kill a fungus. It's like athlete's foot, but everywhere. So for, what is it? Okay, so we got her in December, like the end of December. And she had the ringworm. And literally everybody but Andrew got the ringworm. Because you can't eradicate it. Or you can, but it takes like this crazy hard process. And I've had dandruff and it's driving me crazy because like I've never had it in my entire life, and I thought I thought that it was from, I had strep in September last year, and you can get like post-strep eczema. Oh, because I got what is that called? Scarlet fever, like where you get these like big red things all over. So I thought that this was just like part of the scarlet fever, or part of the post-strep eczema or psoriasis or whatever it is. And so I started using the shampoos and stuff because I was like, okay, this is just a strep. But it's getting really bad. And so I went into the doctor today, and she's like, oh, sweetheart, you have ringworm all over your head. Like, the worst thing ever. And I've been trying to tell Andrew, I've been like, I'm pretty sure that I think I have it. And he's been like, no, you don't have it. So there's that to deal with. But in other news, okay, back to why I'm really here. So 18 tips for keto success. So I've been on a keto diet since December, and I've lost 60 pounds. And these are all things that I have at some point utilized or implemented to make sure that I am successful, which obviously I have been because I've lost weight. But keto success shouldn't be measured by how much weight you lose, because it benefits other things like inflammation and just your overall health. But so these are things that I use, or may not currently be using, but have in the past. And I'm going to start at 18 and count down. So again, if you're watching me live, let me know. And if you get value out of this, I would love for you to share it. Also, help me, know that It's worth it to go live during the day instead of waiting until late at night when nobody's watching. Okay, so number 18, be prepared when eating out at restaurants. I have notes so I stay on track, per usual, because I'm squirrel. So I think this can be a huge setback for us, is not planning what you're going to eat before you go to a restaurant. And since I've started helping people on their journey, I'm not opposed to you sending me a message and saying, hey, I'm going to this restaurant, what can I eat? Like, if you need help, if you need to know, or if you're still new and you aren't sure what you can and can't eat, don't hesitate to reach out. But some simple things that you can do. Breakfast, always opt for bacon and eggs. Lunch, there's always salad alternatives at every single restaurant, and you can get some chicken on top of that. But watch out for the dressing. Excuse me, on the dressings, I would say go with like olive oil and vinegar or olive oil and lemon juice. And then that will help you get your fats in. And then dinner, every restaurant will have a meat dominant meal. So like steak and vegetables. And then get butter or olive oil and put on top of it. Okay, number 17. And this is super important. And I know that this is really hard for people who have kids. And we haven't fully done this. I did it in the beginning to an extent. Mostly with like the flours and the breads and stuff. But clear out your kitchen. Especially clear out your kitchen. Things that you go for. Things that you find is like a trigger. I don't know, cookies or ice cream or whatever it is. Something that you find yourself snacking on late in the day, or I don't know, just take out all of those things that will trigger you. That if you go into your kitchen and you see it, you're going to want it. Like your favorite things, make them go away. And by the time that you're done with this, they won't be your favorite things anymore. We were working on a lifestyle change, not just a diet. So we want to be focusing on small changes that we can make a little by little to be successful in the long run. Okay, number 16, have convenient snacks on hand. Hard-boiled eggs, beef jerky, but be careful with beef jerky because you don't want it to have a bunch of additives or fillers or sugars. You want to find things, I can't remember what the brand is. I'll remember, it's on my Amazon page, or not Amazon, yeah, it is Amazon, my Amazon keto wish list. There's a jerky that is like just jerky, so make sure that the jerky that you get doesn't have anything else in it. Pre-made guacamole, you can make yourself some fat bombs or pre-cooked bacon. Like there's tons of snacks that you can, pregnant or not pregnant. That's funny. I am not taking the test. Actually, I know what I am. I do. I know I'm holding out on you. So maybe we'll get there. We'll see. I know. Share this, and then I will tell you whether I am or I am not. Am or am it. Am it is a thing. Is that a real word? Okay, number 15. Measure your ketones. Now, I do not suggest this for beginners. Don't waste your time. Don't chase numbers. Don't feel like you need to be in a certain place. I did not start measuring my ketones, and I currently don't. But I did not start measuring them until I had been on a ketogenic diet for about a month. I wanted to see where I was, and then I wanted to, oh, thank you. I wanted to make sure that I knew what I could eat, when I could eat them, and different ways that I could improve my ketogenic diet before I cared about how much I weighed or what my ketones read. Now, if you choose to measure your ketones, a lot of groups out there will say that you can do it by using the urine test strips. I do not recommend that at all, and I will tell you why in a second. So what you should do to measure your ketones is get a ketone blood monitor. That is really the only surefire way. So if you're measuring your ketones by the test strips, it would be like checking your exhaust pipe on your car to tell you whether the oil in your engine is clean. Like, why would you do that when you can just pull the dipstick and see how clean it actually is? Okay, number 14, count your carbs. Ideally, or when I started, I can't say ideally because everybody's different, But when I started, I wanted to make sure that I was under 20 carbs per day. And that's net carbs. So to calculate your net carbs, you take your total carbs minus your fiber, and then you get your net. But you should not be getting your fiber from anything else other than like your vegetables. Like you should not be adding a fiber supplement. You should not be going and finding processed keto friendly foods or snacks that are loaded with fiber, because a lot of the times that fiber is not soluble, so your body's not going to be able to utilize it, and then you're still getting the full amount of carbs. Where was I? Yes. Oh, and then the other thing with measuring your carbs, there's a lot of things that you could be eating currently that you're getting carbs from and you don't even realize it. Like different sauces, or if you're eating low-fat things. Most fruits have carbs. Like fruit on a ketogenic diet is a no-no. Like occasionally you can have some berries, but really that's in moderation. And occasionally, that's not an everyday thing. Okay, number 13, portion control. This is huge. Like, only eat when you're hungry. Don't overload your plate. Keep your proteins like to a portion and measure everything out. This goes back to counting your carbs. Yeah. So especially as a beginner, many people like to eyeball their food, but doing so you can easily overeat quickly. The difference between burning glucose or ketones. So for those of you who don't know, when you're on a ketogenic diet, when your body goes into a state of ketosis, you're no longer using glucose as your energy source, you're using ketones, which is the way our bodies were designed. And most people don't understand how good your body actually feels once you're in that state of ketosis. Like, it's crazy. I don't know if, I'm sure everybody can relate. If you can relate, drop one of the like emojis with the hand up. But if you go to like Thanksgiving dinner, or if you go to an Italian restaurant and you have like a big heavy carb meal, when you get home you're exhausted and you feel like you just want to crawl in your bed and die. That's because your body is having to process all of those all of the glucose. We are not designed to our bodies are not designed to run off of glucose. They are designed to run off of ketones. But because of our modern diets, it's almost impossible. Like it's not impossible, but to get our brains around not having carbs on a day-to-day basis, it's such a big hurdle for most people to get over. And getting into that state of ketosis, because of the way that we've lived for so long, isn't always easy. Like, if you have never eaten healthy your entire life, your process is going to be a lot slower than everybody else's. Okay, number 12, improve your gut microbiome, excuse me. So, and I think this is really crazy, and nobody actually talks about it, but I'm sure that y'all have all heard of the keto flu, right? And what that is it's like when your body gets flu-like symptoms because you've cut all carbs and all sugar. And so within the last few years, science has shown that the bacteria living in our gut controls our brain, which is insane. Like, so when we go into the state of ketosis, or when we cut the carbs and sugar, our gut bacteria starts to control our brain, and it starts telling our brain, oh my gosh, we're dying, we feel awful. And so then your brain starts sending all of these signals out, hence the keto flu, because of your gut. So as these things are dying off, we feel like we're sick and we're dying, but it's because they're sick and dying. Like, and they need to go away, because who wants something that runs off of sugar? I mean, we don't want our kids running off of sugar. Why would we want our stomachs running off of sugar and carbs? Who wants that running your body? I just think that that's like such a crazy thing that nobody really talks about, is that that's where it comes from, because it is signaling our brain, we're dying up here, or we're dying down here, we're dying. And so then our brain is like, oh my gosh, we're gonna die. But it's just our gut bacteria telling us that. Okay, number 11, moving on. I don't have a lot of time, so I'm trying to get through this quickly. Consume carbs from vegetable sources. So you don't want to cut out all carbs. You don't want to eat absolutely no carbs, and it's really hard not to do. But you want your, 5 minutes. So you want your carbs to come from non-starchy vegetables like kale, broccoli, cauliflower, spinach, cabbage, and Brussels sprouts. Number 10, stop drinking diet soda and using sugar substitutes. The only substitutes that you should really be using is a stevia, but even then, okay, so like Starbucks stevia has 2 carbs. One tiny little packet has 2 carbs. I was shocked because I had been using that for so long because we always go through the drive-thru, like who wants to get out and go in the store? Well, I went out and got in the store one day and put my own little stevia packet in there, and I was blown away when I looked at the back. I was like, what have I been doing with my life? So those fake sugars will, they will spike your insulin. Sorry. So they will spike your insulin levels, sending you out of ketosis. And the other thing that you'll often hear in the different keto groups is that the source of electrolytes is Powerade Zero. No, that'll do the same thing. It's zero because it uses those fake sugars, but the only reason that you don't have the keto flu after you drink it is because you're no longer in a state of ketosis. Number 9, exercise frequently. Maintaining regular exercise can boost your ketone levels, but you don't want to, but on the same note, too much exercise can be detrimental, meaning that your body will go into the fight or flight syndrome, fight or flight, is that right? So your body can't tell the difference whether you're like sprinting for fun or running for fun, or if a bear is chasing you. And so because of that, if we're doing this really hard exercise routine, then our body's going to release that cortisol, and then we're not going to be able to get into ketosis. Number 8, eat protein in moderation. Now, a lot of us don't get enough protein, so it's important that you are making sure that you're eating enough. But if you're not losing weight on ketosis, cut your protein back a little bit and see if it changes. Or not on ketosis, on a keto diet, cut your protein back a little bit and see if it changes. Eating too much protein can be just as harmful as consuming carbs. So if you cut the carbs out but you're still not in ketosis, make sure that you aren't consuming too much. Number 7, add more salt to your diet and not just any salt. You want to get a pink Himalayan salt or like a salt that has minerals, but don't use table salt. I know that we've been taught that our sodium intake should be very low, but this is because that's typically only the case when consuming higher carbohydrate diets. So higher carbs means naturally higher levels of sodium, but that's not true for a ketogenic diet. I don't know, what is with my throat today? Okay, number 6, drink plenty of water. Obviously, it's super important to stay hydrated, but you want to pay extra attention to this when you're starting this protocol or ketogenic diet. It's because your body excretes more water, so you want to make sure that you're at the very least, drinking half of your body weight in ounces of water. Number 5, prioritize sleep. Poor sleep can increase your stress hormones. If your body is stressed out, then you're not going to be able to get into ketosis. Number 4, use MCT oil regularly. So supplementing with MCT, which is medium chain triglyceride oil, will help you get into ketosis. Oh my goodness. I have to do a team zoom after this. Yes, so supplementing with the MCT oil will help you get into ketosis even if your glycogen stores aren't fully depleted. This allows you to consume slightly more protein and carbohydrates while still running off of ketones. So that's super important. Have it every single day. Don't miss a day. Number 3, and this goes back to a couple of the others, decrease stress. Chronic stress will severely hinder your body's ability to enter ketosis. So if you're eating right and you've checked off all of the other things, decrease your stress. Number 2, use exogenous ketones. Similar to MCT oil, consuming exogenous ketones is like taking a shortcut into ketosis. Taking a ketone supplement will drastically help during the initial phase of your ketogenic journey because you are signaling your body to start using those ketones for energy instead of carbohydrates. So because you're drinking them and putting them into your body's going to be like, oh, I know what to do with this. I know how to do this. And it will automatically get to that state faster. Whereas if you don't, it can take, again, depending on how long you've lived this unhealthy lifestyle, it can take months or weeks to months. Number 1, try intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting, or IF, is one of the most effective things that you can put into action for your ketogenic diet. And IF means that you don't eat or drink anything that contains calories for an allotted period of time. For beginners, it's a good way to start is by skipping breakfast. And what I do is I will do an intermittent fast. Like I will not eat after 6 p.m. and then I won't eat again until noon. But for breakfast, I will have a keto coffee. So really your fast is whatever you, whatever you consider is within that range. As long as you're not eating anything. And then each month, I utilize a 60-hour fasting protocol to help jumpstart my metabolism and get my body into a deeper state of ketosis. So yes, my body may be producing ketones, but I may not have high levels of ketones, and that's what I really want to aim for. I want to be in that deep state of ketosis. And so each month I do a 60-hour fast that puts me there. We are actually starting on the 17th. So if you want to join us, let me know by tonight or tomorrow, and I can get you that information. It has been one of the best things that I've done, not just for my ketogenic diet, but for my overall mindset. The first time that we did it, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not going to eat for 60 hours. But really, once I got through it, it was a huge victory for myself that I was just like, yes, I did it. I made it. So if you're interested, please get with me. Let me know. Drop a flame. We will get you that information. The other thing, or more importantly than all of these things, learn to love this process. Be patient with yourself. Be patient with your body. My results will be different than your results. So you can't expect my results, but learn to love yours. Whether your results is, cleaning your kitchen out today or doing an intermittent fast, whatever you set your goal at, once you achieve it, be happy with that. Like, this isn't easy. It's hard, especially because we're having to change our whole mindset and the way that we've done things for our entire life. So to really be successful, you need to learn to love the process. If you haven't joined our support group, please let me know. Let's get you in and get you started. We have an amazing team and can find you somebody to lock arms with that you're going to really resonate with, that will get you to that point where you want to be. This process isn't fun or easy, but going at it with another person can really make the difference. So that's all I have for tonight. Thanks guys for tuning in, and I will see you all tomorrow. Bye.